we doing? Welcome back. I'm so happy today for a few reasons. The past year I have spent cutting this frame apart, cutting the tub apart, cutting the floorboards apart. I just did 42 holes. I got every hole, rust, or rivet I took out. You see the light? I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and now we're gonna drill two big holes. So, and why are we drilling two big holes? Because we're going to install these cool round tail lights that we all want in our Jeeps. You know, no one likes the squares. Well, some people do. I don't. But I've been looking forward to this so long, and finally I got all the holes patched up. So I want to drill two big holes into the Jeep, and I'm going to put a link onto these. I think these are under 40 bucks. They have signal, reverse. Only thing they don't have is for the license plate, but other than that, these do everything. So I like that, and we'll talk about the wiring later on. Plus they're under 40 bucks, I like that even more. When we're talking about price though, take in consideration when you buy your lights. This is going to cost you anywhere between 19 bucks and $39 depending on which one you buy. So if you don't have one, take that in consideration when you're doing your budget, because you need a 4.5 inch hole saw. Do not do a 4 inch, especially on these lights. It's 4.5 inch, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I do want to show you something on the side when I was talking about all the holes. So everything here has been welded and then fiberglassed over so that the welds are taken care of and it's smooth. This has all been sanded down by 80 grit. I got to do a skim coat, but this is all getting ready for the Rhino liner, which we're going to use the Raptor, which is a specific product. So we're going to Raptor line the inside and the outside of the Jeep. On our last episode, you saw the fender. This had one coat fiberglass on it. There's a little spot here and here too, but in general, there's almost no fiberglass on there. It's nice and straight. Corners making up, so I'm happy with that. So we're done with pretty much all the major work except for a perch in the back of the Jeep, but we're going to be talking about that in another video. So let's get back here and start talking about how we're going to do this. Okay, let's start talking what you're going to need. You can go buy a cheap compass, you can buy a better compass, but you're going to need a compass. And why do you want a compass? Because you're drilling into your Jeep, so why do you want to do this multiple times? So this is a 4.5 inch hole. Now, I took half of 4.5 inches because that's what you're going to do, and that comes out to 2.25. And I drew my circle, and then I measured it and made sure that I'm locked in, and sure enough, that's 4.5 inches. So now I know that compass is set up 4.5. What I wound up doing, I'm going to give you some measurements. I measured 7.25 inches down. You see this rivet here? So on your taillight, you got a triangle. We're talking about the closest one into your tailgate. I measured down, and that's 7.25, and happens to be one line. So it's 7.25 and one line. And then I measured this way, and I measured 5.25 and one line also. It goes, there's a bend, you're gonna have some bend in there, but mine's 5.25. And on this side, I did the same thing. 7.25 in one line, and 5.25 in one line there. So these are pretty cool. They're within 1/16. They might be off a 16th, so but at this point we're pretty close to being. You're not going to notice a 16th from far away or close up. But then I scribed the circle, and if you see the circle here, I scribed the circle over there. So now I know where it is. Now, then I did my pilot hole, my drill. Now on this, something weird. This is a 4.5 inch, but when I measured it, this is actually going to be, it's like a lumber. It's not quite 4.5 inches. So when you put your drill here, and I line it up, right there, where I say I'm a little bit inside the circle, but when we cut in a few seconds, we'll find out. Now we're going to be talking about the wiring after this, but we're going to get ready to cut two big holes. The main thing is don't panic, measure twice, measure 3 times, and we're gonna cut once, okay? We're back. I'm just lit a cigarette because I'm about to cut a 4.5 inch hole into the Jeep after a year of welding all the holes up. So it's a little bit stressful. You know what I mean. So we're gonna take this drill bit and put it into this pilot hole right there. So come on, let's do this. Okay, that's sitting in the pilot hole. We're level. That was fast. That scared me. It's a live TV. Our hole is good, doing good, but for some reason, this thing is not cutting. So let's hold this in. Okay, going through, but I'm gonna pause it and get a new battery. Okay, pick upon bigger hole, bigger drill, more power. That's all I know. Seriously, I probably wouldn't use a cordless. I would probably use some plug-in because that killed that battery fast. So let's see how this works. Thing has more rust holes than a freaking Camaro, but I mean, I know why it's doing it, because the plate's pushing in, but it should have gone all in together. So we're getting through, but what a pain in the butt. This is why I do this stuff, so other people know that's not just them doing this, but I just don't want to drill that hole out too much. So sooner or later I gotta. Holy shit. You see this? Okay. I still got the drill bit. I drilled. It's just not cutting. It was a decent bit. You know, it wasn't cheap, but this hole is starting to stagger. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my little saw and I'm just gonna start cutting and then going back and forth through the drill. So. Okay, holes cut, lights in. Let's say I am super stoked. I'm happy. You know, like the Ren and Stimpy. Seriously, I'm just so happy. The saw, I'm gonna put, this is gonna be a little bit longer video because now I'm definitely gonna cut this side. I'm gonna go get a different blade. I'm gonna go to Lowe's and return this. That thing is dead. Now, it said metal wood on there, fiberglass. This is not that thick of metal. I'm gonna bring this to Lowe's. Now, half the people think I'm gonna get laughed at, the other half think I'm gonna get kicked out, but I'm gonna try to return it. I mean, money doesn't grow on trees. I mean, you know, that thing's a piece of crap. I mean, seriously, piece of crap. So I'm super happy. I'm not gonna let that bring me down. Come on over here and I'll show you how the hole came out. This is so tight that I'm not pushing all the way in because I'm never gonna get this thing out, but it is definitely 4.5 inch hole. Do not do smaller. I mean, it's definitely 4.5 inch hole. Now, what I did was I kept on drilling with it, and then I took my little saw and then I edged around it. I'm gonna sand this down. I took some of the edge off with my sander. I'll sand a little bit more of that, but I mean, it's still not horrible. It's still round, but the nice thing about it is I don't want to install anything because there's a low spot right here. I'm gonna sand it, and I need to do some fiberglass work to straighten this panel out. And I want this nice. I want it a little bit flatter right here, and right here I found a low spot, and I'm gonna try banging some of it out. Oh, quick thing on bodywork. Right here, that's where your hinge is mounted. Anywhere the Jeep body is mounted, I do notice that it's a high spot. So I'm gonna try bang this out a little bit. Maybe there's a little bit of a low spot, and then taper it off with fiberglass to straighten this panel out. So when you're working, doing body work on a Jeep, at least, I'm not sure about old cars, but on a Jeep at least, wherever there's a hard mount, it seems to push out, and not just here on the side. So don't freak out if you're doing body work, because there's a little bit of high spot, and there's no way of getting that high spot out. You might be able to feather it out and you'll never notice it, but that's just, you know, if you are doing any body work. Wherever there's a hard mount underneath it, I'm just gonna guess over time it just pushes it out, and that's why you get these high and low spots. But I will go return that blade tomorrow, and I'll start recording more tomorrow. We'll do the other side, and then we'll go over the wiring, man. But when shit doesn't go the right way for you, and when you're working on old cars, it doesn't go always the right way. You just take your time, don't panic, and one step at a time. And I'm super happy that how it's coming out so far. I can't wait to get both lights installed so I can just show you how this looks with the tailgate that I made. Dude, I'm just so happy I can actually do stuff other than fixing rust. Okay, I'm back again, another day. I went to Lowe's, and good for them, they gave me my money back for that piece of garbage hole saw. I went to Home Depot, I spent like $5 more, so instead of $39, I think it was like $43, $44. And I got a Milwaukee hole dozer. It says new tooth design. It does feel like a better aggressive hole saw, so I'm hoping that they'll do better than yesterday's fiasco. The only different thing I did today was I sprayed a little bit of silicone on here. I was thinking maybe because when I use my drill press, sometimes I have to oil a hole, but it's sheet metal. I shouldn't be oiling sheet metal for this. So one other thing I'm doing is I am going straight for the big drill. I'm not gonna do, not even using the small one, the battery one, and we're gonna go for it. So I'm not gonna mess around because I want to show you guys the wiring, because that was pretty easy. Let's go do this. Okay, this thing is pretty aggressive, so we're gonna start off pretty slow. It just jumped out of my hands a little bit, so you gotta be careful. Grab it and just start off slow. Pretty good. It's super jumpy. And it jumps out again. You know what? I'm going to spray it again. I won't rip my hand off. Okay, I'm spraying. Good news is the line's right there, my friends. Take the positive with the good, with the bad. Okay, let's not rip my hand off. Man. We're almost through. That seemed to help. So I'm gonna say spraying it down, because we're almost through there, and we're almost through there. We're not almost through there. I think lubing that thing up actually helps out a little bit, and I'm finding that not going too fast is actually helping me out. And really should be wearing safety glasses. So it's not about the high speed on this, because it'll rip your hand off, man. It's really about getting some torque in there, and then just taking your time. We're almost through there, so we are pretty much done almost. That was a lot easier than yesterday. And watch out for your freaking wrist. I let go that time. So I am almost done. I switched to this thing. You gotta be careful, because if this thing, when you're using a lot of torque, if it grabs, you can break your wrist. I like the Jeep, but I don't love the Jeep. I'm not gonna break my wrist over this. So I switched to a cordless. It's a little bit more manageable, and I'm gonna do a couple more hits, and then I have to clean it out a little bit, I will, but this blade is 100% better, because it's not the blade, it's me struggling holding it. I'm gonna guess that if you had something backing back here that you could push against, it'd be easier. But once I poke through this, it just gets harder and harder. But so all I'm doing now is oh, you're still recording. Okay, let's not even consider me a horrible job drilling holes. Let's compare my measurements and how these two pieces came out. Let's be the judge of that. So if you go by my measurements, that's damn right on. I mean, shit, man. Seriously, that's right on. The silicone did help, or we used some WD-40. That did help, but I'm gonna just clean this up with some sandpaper and everything. But let me clean that up, and then we'll start going over the wiring. But really, look, I don't kid around when I say, learn. That's why I do the videos. Learn from my mistakes and everything. Be careful if you're using something powerful with that thing. I mean, I don't want to say a strong wrist, but I mean, seriously, you could snap an arm, and it's not worth it. I mean, hit it, go in, and I found that I had more control at lower speeds and just go in and out and just hit it, like that. All right, let me clean this all up, and we'll start going over the wiring. I'm sorry to interrupt this video, but I want to just tell you one thing. Come out over here. While you drill the holes, don't be get in there, scrub it out, and then primer and rust prevent inside here, you lazy. Okay, I didn't push these all the way in, but you get the general gist how they look. We're gonna go over the wiring next. I gotta do some body work, so I don't want to push this in. Plus, my wiring harness is out right now. Same thing with some brake lines, because I'm gonna be taking the axle out soon. So let's go over what you're gonna get. You're gonna get 2 lights and 4 generic pigtails. So come on over here, and we're gonna go. The top is gonna basically just be your reverse. Your bottom is basically gonna be your running lights, your turn signal, your brake. So most of it's done through here, and the reverse is just on the top. Your pigtails, I'm gonna put this all together right now, but let's go over the pigtail. This is the factory pigtail. When I say red, I mean red. When I say green, I mean green. When I say purple, I mean purple. When I say black, I mean black. It's dual color wires. I'm not going through that crap. So black, purple, green, and red. Okay, so first thing first, on the bottom, I'm gonna hook this thing. I'm not gonna put, like I said, I'm not putting this in permanently because I'm not ready for that yet. You're gonna get a ground. This white wire is your ground wire. It definitely needs to be grounded. Let me look for my ground cable. Son of a bitch, where's my ground cable? Here is my ground cable. We're gonna use this. Okay, so I'm just doing this so you can see that how it works. So I need to ground this. Hopefully this is big enough ground. Okay, so that's grounded now. So that's grounded. So I'm gonna do 2 things at one time. We're gonna do the running lights, and then we're gonna do the turn signal. So I'm gonna go black to black. I'm gonna do red to green, and that should give me, in theory, you turn on the lights. That's your running lights. Can you turn on your blinker? And that's your blinker. Now, I'm not putting a resistor. You can shut off the blinker. You heard that? Dit, 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 dit. I'm not putting a resistor. You shouldn't either, because with the resistor, you're building heat in your wiring. They sell, it's not fuse, I forgot what it's called, but it's 12 bucks at O'Reilly's, and it'll go into a normal blinking. But you shut off the lights also. So now we're going to disconnect that, and now I'm going to do black to red. You hit on the brakes, and that's your brakes. Okay, let go. So that's your bottom. Okay, your top, same generic pigtail we're gonna put in there. I don't know what the black wire does on the top. I've tried everything. If you want to hook it into black to black so you have power, you can do that. But if you do, all I do know is if you take red and do it to purple, put it in reverse for me, please. Let's see if she gets this. She didn't get it. Put it in reverse, take it out, all the way over and back. No, you didn't go. No. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not touching it. Right there. That's your reverse. That's pretty damn bright reverse. You can take it out of reverse now. Okay. See, I'm teaching her something. Okay, so they all work. I like them for under 40 bucks. Basically, you have everything you need on it, except, like I said, your tailplate light that I said earlier in the video. But it's a no-brainer. I'm really happy with it. One last thing before I end the video. So, if you have your old light and you have your pigtail, you can cut up here and splice the wires into this pigtail and then just use your pigtail. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the pigtail or I'm going to cut everything and basically solder and wire it that way. That's up to you, but I just wanted to show you what I learned on the wiring. If you want to go over, if you see something I did wrong, put it in the comments. I'll pin it because, like I said, I'm not a professional, but I was just messing around and it seems like everything is working for me. I'm happy with it. I am super stoked that I finally have this part done, and I got some great fun videos coming up in the future. I mean, the axle's coming out. I have a lift kit that I basically did for 50 bucks. That's gonna be a great video because I'm super psyched, but there is some drawbacks. But I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and like I said, man, you know, I'm really happy people are starting to watch the videos. Talk to you later.